that I serve, being professionals, being high achievers, people pleasers, and go-getters, their voices are almost more loud now because of the way society is than back when I was younger. There's so much competition, there's so much input, there's so much stimulation. So helping them figure out who is their real loving inner voice versus all that noise, that possible inner mean girl they picked up as a combination of people from childhood, or a version of themselves that they stuck with since they were, when I was in high school beating myself up, I could hear that inner mean girl still, and I have to just take her on the side and have a little chat to her and give her a hug and say, okay, it's not 19X anymore, it's 2022. So, but yeah, I see it. And once they can hear from my feedback that that's not really real, and that's not a part that they need to listen to anymore, it's the tears flow, the joy flows.
Oh, it's so true, because we don't know that that's stuff that we could say it's not true. I think when you operate under automatic pilot, which I talk about a lot, you don't realize that the thoughts in your head don't have to be real unless you make them real, and that they're not helpful sometimes, and that you get to say, you know what, that's great that you're there, but I'm going to go do this. And just like you chose to go to New Zealand, I'm sure a lot of thoughts were in your head, like, this is scary, you can't do this, what are you thinking, and you didn't listen to it, and you did it anyway. And I think that's so amazing. You're a great example for people to follow.
Oh, thank you. I mean, yeah. I look back and I go, who was that? But she was in there, even despite the emotional eating, the overweight, the bloating, all the icky symptoms from overeating and over-exercising. I was hidden in these big outfits. You remember those weird suits that we used to wear? Those swishy suits? Those big suits, but she was in there. So
she was just trying to come out and be visible. If you could just get her out there, right?
Oh, I know. Well, let me just put it this way. I'm actually showing you arm now compared to back then. I had never shown arm. Your well-being, all that other stuff is getting in your way or clogging your system or whatever. And, of course, I break it down from there. But, that's the gist.
Wow. Just think about how many cultural messages or societal messages especially women are getting, that you have to be able to do it all. You have to, raise the kids, go work all this stuff, keep the house clean, pay all the bills, do all this. I always say it'd be great if I could have another wife, just another one who could handle some of these things for me. Right. But, how do you think we could do something different to help people see that those don't have to be true? That you don't have to follow all that? Is that part of what you talk to them about?
Oh, heck yeah. And this is when I bring in my inner bad girl / sometimes inner mean critic, my Jersey self, because growing up in New Jersey, I really learned how to stand up and be loud and obnoxious in a good, helpful way, but in a loving, caring way to put the stop sign up to the inner critic, the inner sabotager. And really, like with my clients, when we go through what's consuming their lives, whether it be on social media, TV, relationships, their job, how does it make them feel? And a lot of times, like, they have not even taken the moments to recognize, wow, I just watched that horrible news story. I'm grinding my teeth. My stomach's curling. Oops, I'm popping in a piece of chocolate. Because they didn't pick out that hurt them, that interfered with them. So really paying attention to your unique inner wisdom, your knowing, that inner mentor that we've been speaking about, because you do know inside you, and someone else outside of you may offer well-meaning advice or think that they know you, but they really don't know you unless they get in there and ask the questions that you and I would ask of our clients to really pick up what's going on for them as an experience of who they are. That makes sense.
Yeah, totally. What you made me think of is, like, for people who are operating with those kinds of stories, but then they're also dealing with maybe a toxic boss or a toxic work environment or a toxic peers that they have to work for or work with. And how do you feel like that gets in their way? Like, how can they help themselves when that's happening for them?
So, will reach out to me.
That's a given.
Yeah, that's a given. But find someone that's like me or Sue and that resonates with you to get help. Because, number one, if you're not finding a supportive person where you work or in your family life or in your relationships, know that those insights are right. Like, trust those insights. And like I did, I went to another set of friends. I went outside my circle because even though I was supposed to be in a loving family, something was saying, this doesn't feel right. And I went outside that. So find a trusted advisor or a support person or a coach or a mentor, a therapist, whoever resonates with you that gets you, and start to learn what that person's experience is, and their toxicity is not you. You don't have to take it on. And it doesn't mean anything to you unless you make it mean something to you. And that's an exercise and lessons in and of itself to stop making meaning out of what's going on over there. But I like what I've done in the past when I've worked under and around bullies is listen with my little bubble around me, like my true energetic bubble and protection to protect my energy and myself, and then walk away and then either go in my car and scream or cry or journal about it or call somebody or call my coach, because it takes practice to build that way of being around someone toxic.